Hi, it's Mike from Eulogy, and I hope you're all doing well during this lockdown period. It is frustrating for us all because we can't do gigs. I know lots of guys that I talk to in bands are absolutely chomping at the bit to get out there back on stage playing our music. But we've got to bide our time, and one thing that we're doing is playing our music from home and enjoying it that way. So I've been asked by a few people now to put something out there, and I was considering doing maybe something around guitar technique or playing, but one thing I get asked a lot in shows is about my tone and my setup. So I thought I'd take you through that today, talk about my guitars, my amps, my effects, etc, etc. So I hope you enjoy it. So this is my amp. It's a circa 1970 Park 100 watt split channel lead. It's based on a Marshall. They are one and the same thing. But this is the heart of the Eulogy sound, guitar tone anyway. And the way I set it up is very biased towards the bass frequencies. So if I just take you through my current setup here. The edge is off, even though you can't see. I have the indicators come off. That's right off. The bass is full up. If I could go to 11, I would on this. My EQ is not a scooped EQ like most rock guitarists. I use a lot of bass, and I got the middles bass at about 11 o'clock, just to give me a slight bit of brightness to it. My trebles are right off, dialed right out, and I'm now blending channel A, channel B. So channel A is the bright channel, channel B is the normal channel. So I like to have the best of both worlds. I'm connecting the two channels externally with this patch lead, and I can now blend these two volumes to get my exact tone. And this hasn't changed for 10 years. If I could lock these off, I would, but that is my tone. So my cab's a 4x12. It has 4 Celestion greenbacks G12H30s, all wired to 16 ohms. Again, this is circa 1970. I've had this paired with the amp for too long, for forever it seems. I've gigged it for years. It's a bit ratty. So we've got lots of dinks and scrapes, but I would not swap it for the world. The only one drawback, it probably weighs about 2.5 tons, so it normally takes at least two members of the band to drag this into venues. But again, matched with the amp, this is an absolute piece of perfect kit. So for my effects, I've just gone bomb-proof. We do so many gigs now. This for me is really easy to set up. It's almost plug and play. I have in the past used individual stomp boxes for my effects, but they were just, sometimes they'd get to a point where it was just a pain in the backside just to maintain the patch leads, etc, etc. So this is a Line 6 Pod HD500. It's far from the newest bit of kit, but I've had this now 5 or 6 years, and it hasn't let me down. The way I use this just to push the amp so it breaks, so the sound breaks in the amp, trying to use the tone of the valves. So my tone from the effects, from a distorted point of view, is not that great. And then something I absolutely love is the Morley wah. Again, like all my stuff, this has been knocking around for years. I've used Crybabies, I've used the Line 6 wah, but I keep coming back to the Morley. It's an absolutely fantastic piece of kit. Beautiful sweeping tones when you actuate the wah. It's fantastic. It's also got a boost function, so when I do go into solos, it lifts it slightly. So from an effects perspective, very, very basic. So it's over to guitars, and as you can see, I've got many guitars in the room. Some guitars I like to play in the use in the studio, some guitars I use live, or a combination of both. As you can see, I got a Les Paul here. That was my guitar of choice for absolute years, and that one has been gigged to death. But in more recent times, say the last maybe 5 years, my instrument of choice for live situations has been the PRS. So I have two of these, well not two of these, but two PRS guitars. This one is a Custom 24, pattern regular neck, nothing out of the ordinary. It's loaded with the 5815 pickups. The string gauge is a hybrid string gauge, so I'm going from a 11s on the low 3 and a 10 on the bottom, so it's a 52 40 30, it's a 17 13 10, tuned to D, just to take it that little bit lower. 5-way selector, but it's normally either right back or right forward. I very rarely do anything in between. And the tremolo's set on the deck, so there's none of this pulling back business. It's only just like vibrato, nothing more than that. So the second of my two guitars, again another PRS, but it's the PRS Custom, and it's an SE model. This was bought as a project. I wanted to play the Custom 24 less, because I just didn't want to get it damaged, because you know when you play a lot of gigs, guitars get worn, effectively get chipped and dented, and I just didn't want to damage that guitar. But I find it difficult not to play that guitar because it plays so well for me. So this guitar was, as I said, purchased as a project. So I sprayed it this satin black, which suits it. And then I worked with a good friend of mine, Wyn Jenkins, down in Custom Guitar Works, and he modded this for me. And if you've seen some of my stuff on Instagram, you'd have seen the whole process of the build of this guitar. So we put in DiMarzio Evolution pickups, humbuckers. And these work really well in the mid-range and quite kind of mid to high output from them. And another interesting feature of this, that we put a 6-way selector switch in. So we have 6 options on switching of the pickup selectors. So we've got bridge and neck, and then we've got phasing options between the two pickups for between the bridge and neck pickups, which gives me some really interesting tones, especially the clean, when we're playing clean. Absolutely lovely. Again, the tremolos on the deck, there's no upward pulling on this. It's just when I play, it's never dive bombing or screaming. It's just slight vibrato, and that serves me well. And this one comes with a crow motif. I'm not sure if you see that. Yeah, there it is. And this was just to help promote our EP Memento Mori, that was based on one of the songs there called Corvid, which is a crow. So I mean, and these two instruments have been working well for me now for years, while I've been playing for Eulogy. So if you come to see us, you will actually see me with one of these two guitars, but both will be there with me. So now I'll take you through some of my tones. This is the clean tone. This is not a song we currently play, it's a song we're currently writing, so excuse me if it's a few mistakes, but hopefully it should be quite smoothly. So this is a clean tone with minimal effect, maybe a little bit of chorus on there, that's all it is. So now I'm going to demonstrate to you some of the higher gain tones I'm going to use. This is my general rhythm sound, and this is for a song that we're currently writing. 10 minutes of your life you're never going to get back. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Eulogy, I'm not doing shows at the moment because of lockdown, but as soon as we are, I hope to see you all come to the gigs. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.